ahead.
Just outside of Washington, people are furious about the cost of a new bus stop. The price tag, $1 million. It may be the start of things to come. Chip Reed is in Arlington, Virginia. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning, Charlie and Gail. You know, there are some things people like about this bus stop. For example, the futuristic architecture that makes it look like it's out of the Jetsons. And of course, it's all top-of-the-line materials. And behind me, an electronic board that tells people exactly when all the buses are coming. And underfoot, heating elements under the concrete so that ice doesn't form here in the winter. But tell people the price of this thing, and attitudes tend to change.
I don't see $1 million here. It's unfathomable to me that it could cost that much.
For bus rider Meyer Hughes, it's not just the $1 million price tag that bothers him, it's that the bus stop is so exposed, giving almost no protection from the weather.
In a rainstorm, what's it going to be like?
It's going to be built like you're staying in the rain. And you can't sit down on the metal in the cold.
Older bus stops nearby do shield passengers from the weather, and they cost just $30,000, which means you could build more than 30 of these for the price of one of these. $1 million would also pay for a year of unemployment benefits for 50 people, Head Start for a year for 138 children, or a year of medical care for 845 Virginia veterans.
There's so many other things they could be doing with their money than spending their money. They say that they're broke, but then they spend $1 million at a bus stop? Come on, I think that's crazy.
What makes some people even crazier is that Arlington has plans to build 23 more of the so-called super stops at just under $1 million apiece. But Arlington Transportation Director Dennis Leach says the county will analyze the lessons learned from this experience before spending more taxpayer money on bus stops.
We're looking carefully at what our riders tell us about it before we actually launch into a much larger program. And we're absolutely committed to updating the design and driving the costs down.
Mark Aesch, who advises cities on how to make public transportation more efficient, calls this the Taj Mahal of bus shelters.
You know, they've called these things super stops. It seems that we'd be better equipped to maybe call them super soakers, because the taxpayer is clearly getting hosed here.
Charlie and Gail, this is an area that depends on government spending. Washington, D.C. is just across the river, and the Pentagon is just a mile and a half down that road. But even here, they don't understand how this could have cost $1 million. Some local officials are calling for an investigation to find out exactly where the money went. And Charlie and Gail, can I add one other thing? These fancy schmancy stainless steel benches here are so cold you cannot sit on them in this weather.
What's wrong with this story? Thank you, Chip.
One of those things that seem inexplicable.
It really does, Charlie. And I love when they say they're going to listen to the people. If they listen to the people, I think they're telling you what they think. It doesn't make any sense to spend $1 million when it rains, you still get wet.
How many of those do you think will be built?
I think you'd sell the first and the last. We'll see. We'll see. Delta Airlines is the